But Dave, the other team I wanted to hit was the Denver Nuggets, because they are a team that, depending on who you ask, some may say the sky is falling, because the Denver Nuggets, they've only played 6 games. I think they play tonight. So yeah, they're going to play the T-Wolves tonight. So they'll probably be 3-4, not 2-5. I hope they're not 2-5 against the T-Wolves, because I don't think Cat is out there yet. But they're a team that has a 2-4 record. Their only wins are against Minnesota and Houston. Their losses are 2 to the Heat, 1 to the Clippers, and 1 to the Suns. I will ask you, how worried should Nuggets fans be about the Nuggets? A lot, a little, not at all.
I think a little. I think you got to be at least a little worried about this team. Like, you got a team that pushed really hard the last couple of years, had excellent performances in the regular season. They were a top 4 team in the West 2 years in a row. I think the big problem here is, we've seen what's happened to Gary Harris. And what the fuck has happened to Gary Harris? Like, that's the problem.
Yeah.
They lost out on, like, he's never been the same after his injuries. He's regressed. He's no longer a good shooter. His defense it was good. Like, his offense declined. His defense, got better, but now it seems like even that's come down a little bit to start this year. So
yeah,
I look at this team and, like, that's the team that should be probably trading for fucking James Harden. Like, if you want to talk about a team with assets, the Denver Nuggets should trade for James Harden.
The thing is, and I've tried that before. Well, yeah. I tried it for Otto Porter. The problem is, like, maybe James Harden, it doesn't come into a problem, because James Harden is a type of player that, what's the word I'm looking for? Demands more assets from you and demands higher pieces from you. Right. My problem is, do they have the pieces to make the contract work? So I'm assuming Gary Harris would be in the deal.
100%.
Will the Thrill Barton would be in the deal. So with those two alone, fuck it. Those two alone make it work. You're right. James Harden just demands more. That's why that would work. Forget what I said.
It's Michael Porter Jr. in that deal, probably. Which sucks, but also, like, if you believe in your team winning a championship, maybe that's the right move to make.
Is it just those 3, Harris, Barton, and Porter? And then picks, obviously?
Yeah, probably. I mean, that's from, I don't know if you can give up both Harris and Barton at the same time. I think they need to keep one of those guys, maybe, so you might have to switch up something there to make it work. But, like, they're a team that really misses Jeremy Grant. They sort of miss Plumlee. Like, the offseason was not kind to them. And I get it, the overpays happened, or as they call them, overpays. I don't know if everybody else agrees with that at this point, but they're just getting wrecked sometimes on defense, and it turns into a really ugly situation where you just have to – they're hitting that outscore mentality. Like, Jokic has had a great fucking year. The dude's probably going to average a triple-double as a center, which is nuts. His scoring's gotten better. Like, everything about his game has gotten better, but they as a team, because Jamal Murray started off cold for 2 games, now he's gotten hot again. Like, if he stays hot, maybe they'll win more games, or they should win more games, but they've got so many young guys in this roster who probably need to be flipped for a veteran. And it's the, like, frustration of, are you guys there yet, or are you not? MPJ has had to been benched during a long series of games where it's just his defense got abused out there, or lack thereof, I should say. So I think this is a team where maybe they outperformed expectations 2 years in a row, and that's great. And we should be happy for their success and be like, hey, their real window is just getting started. Yeah. We could watch, MPJ and Bol and RJ Hampton lead this team for the next, 7 years. Like, they've got the lineup. But if they want to win this year, if they're struggling out the gates and they feel like they need to really focus on winning now for whatever contractual situation, you're already going to end up paying max deals to Murray. Or is Murray's a max, or is it a near max?
I'll look it up.
I think he's well paid. He's well compensated. Let's put it that way. For Murray and Jokic, so, like, you're already set. I mean, I don't know if you need to panic and move, but if you do feel like you do, go get James Harden. Go pay up and get that guy, because he'll be happy to come there and help win. Because, again, that's another team that right there's their big 3. They still have enough depth on that bench to try to make something happen. I wouldn't get overly upset at the start of the season, though. My answer. Relax.
So Jamal Murray is a rookie max deal.
Yep.
And then Jokic is a max deal.
Right, because Jokic was a second-round pick.
Yeah.
So he had an outright new deal. Yeah.
So basically 2 maxes. And like with the trade side of it, now I took out Will Barton because like you said, you'd probably maybe want to keep one of those too.
Yep.
A deal of, and yet again, you'd have to wait until the recently signed period comes, which I think is somewhere in February. Jermichael Green, Gary Harris, and MPJ make it work. Now, the question I have for that, like the Nuggets, if the Nuggets want to go ahead and make a run at a Harden, make a run so we have someone to help in a playoff push, are the Rockets going to be greedy and go, yeah, we want RJ Hampton, though? Because to me, if I'm the Nuggets, I look at that and I go, you're really fucking with our future there. And like it goes on to what you said of how much do you think about the future? Like they have Bol, they have RJ Hampton, who they really like.
Yep.
Or is it like, fuck it, we have to sell some of these pieces to get a championship now? Because we've seen on other franchises where it's like, especially like the Lakers. Now, of course, their timeline was a little different. You had LeBron James. You're going to make it work when you have LeBron James. I don't care what the fuck I have to give up to get Anthony Davis on this team. And it worked. Even look at the Raptors. We're going to get a deal done to get Kawhi here. It worked. The thing with the Nuggets is, are you fine with, hey, we're going to run with this group. We don't need to make a run at James Harden. Or are you sitting there going, no, let's make a run. Even if it doesn't work, we swung for the fences.
That's a great question because it just turns into, would you rather be content with being a good team that makes the playoffs every year, or do you want to strive to be great and win a championship and put yourself in that position? And that's really
because they were close last year. They were close. Western Conference Finals.
They were. And again, sometimes all you got to do is be healthy at the right point of the season, right time, get hot a couple times, and there you go. You could be a champion, but you put yourself in the best position by getting the best players. And I think that's sort of the thing, you know? I do have to ask, you know what? No, I'm like, Denver is one of those teams where you just got to go for it at some point. I don't know if today is that day, but like at some point in the future, you're going to have to go for it because there's a lot of franchises. There are a lot of teams who are like, man, look at our window. Like, we're going to be set for the next couple years. You as a Cubs fan should fucking know. Yeah. We're going to be set for the next couple years.
You got one.
And I was lucky because you made a trade happen to get yourself a closer.
Which
in the fucking league.
Again, not
you
getting
have to give something to get there. Yeah. And it's worth it at the end of the day because you think you are. Washington Nationals, we all laughed about that. Guess what? Steven Strasburg, innings limit. Nah, we can't let him go out there knowing this is the best team we've put together in a long time. We got a long window in front of us. What happened? Fucking top talent, Bryce Harper, gone. Other guys on that team who matter more than Bryce Harper probably as far as pitching rotation, all that shit left. I'm not a big baseball guy, but I think the point is that you can either be good for a while or you can have a real chance at championship and try to strike when the iron's hot. And that it's going to be different for every team. Yeah. Detroit Pistons obviously are a team where they'd rather just be a playoff team and not really care about shit. And that's cool for them. Yeah. I'm somebody who likes a championship, but I will acknowledge that long-term greatness is cool.
Now, I was going to bring up what Mad Rug brought up. The Nationals, though, they're only different because after Harper left, they went on a run I didn't even see. Where I will always tell people, like, I'm not afraid of bad takes that I've had, Dave. I have the clip. It is somewhere on this channel where it was you, I, and Brandon talking about the baseball playoffs. And I said, if I'm the Cubs, I'm not afraid of the Nationals. Bring on the Nationals. That's who I want to see in the wild card. We didn't have to play them. We lost to the Rockies. But, the Nationals just went to the World Series and won it. Like, no big deal.
Exactly. The question is, how many more could they win?
And that's the thing. A team, like, baseball is different than...
That's what kills me.
Yeah. Like, baseball is different than the NBA, but it's still true in any sport. Any team can get hot at the right time.
Yep.
Ergo, the Nuggets last year. The reason why they got to the Western Conference Finals is they got hot at the absolute right time. Just imagine what would have happened if the Suns actually made it to the playoffs. Like, if that bubble team that was that hot made it to the playoffs, maybe there would have been. Now, I'm not saying they beat the Lakers. I'm not saying that. But maybe they do have some great performances, and it changes how we see those playoffs. Like, I look at the Nuggets and I go, you were in the Western Conference Finals last year in a situation that was unlike any other. You're never going to, knock on wood, that we never are in that situation again where we're playing games at Disney because of a global pandemic and it's a neutral site. Like, there were so many things that put the odds in your favor.
Yep.
I don't know if you can sit back and go, oh, well, we were in the Western Conference Finals last year. We'll get there again. I think this team needs to go ahead and make a move to help them get over that next step, because I feel like this is me looking into my crystal ball or my crystal tablet as I have in front of me. If they stay pat, they will get to the playoffs. They will play a team like the Clippers in the second round this year, and they will lose. It will not go their way like it did last year. That's why I feel like you make a move for James Harden, because no matter what the situation is, he can get you over that hump and help you get over that hump to potentially, because the goal is to win a title, right, Dave? That's the goal of every season. Like, I know everyone's in different situations.
For some teams, it can be, but it's funny because it doesn't even address their biggest problem. It's just the best talent who's available in the league, and that at some point, talent wins out over fit.
What would you say their biggest problem is?
Defense.
Okay.
They just suck on defense right now.
Yeah.
Just flat out suck.
Which, like, I'm trying to even think if there's going to be a guy eventually.
Otto Porter was the guy you had mentioned.
Yeah.
I think he'd be decent for them if they could find a deal to be happy on both ends. There's other guys in the league who are probably cheaper, who could make it work as well. But I look forward to them making moves this year. I don't think they're going to stay pat. I don't think they're going to swing for the fences either with a James Harden deal. But they're one team who has the assets who could make it work easily, because they do have young talent. They do have veterans. They do have draft picks. You got everything on the fucking checklist for the Rockets.
Mm-hmm. Like, I'll ask you this really quickly, because I did put Otto Porter in there. Apparently, Otto Porter for Gary Harris now worked. It didn't work the other night. That confuses me. If that's the deal, Gary Harris for Otto, is it just Gary Harris and a first? Is it, like, as a Bulls fan, I don't know if I really even want Gary Harris and have him locked down for 3 years.
It doesn't feel great.
Because what does that do for us?
Nothing.
Kind of a thing, but, like, I guess that deal could work if you wanted it to, but